Now let me invite our chairman with a brief introduction about him. Most of you know him. He is Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan. He is a technology industry professional with more than 30 years of experience in India, Europe and United States and all across the globe. In his role as a vice chairman of Cognizant, he guides strategic programs around customer advocacy, education, training, leadership development and guiding the entire organization. He is the past chairman of NASSCOM and also was the member of board of US-India Business Council. He has received many awards and recognition from the industry, the government and the media and even the academia. He is alumni of Indian Institute of Science and his pursuits in inclusive growth, education and non-profits through Cognizant Foundation and other institutions. And more specifically, he has been supporting TIE and he is the chairman of ICT Academy. Put your hands together to welcome Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, the chairman ICTACT and the vice chairman Cognizant to deliver his presidential address.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Anbu, and good morning, everyone. Let me add my welcome on behalf of ICT Academy to all the distinguished educationists, academicians, students, and other leaders who are present here. After Shivakumar's inspirational speech, I'm quite speechless. Normally, Shivakumar will defer everything to others. He'll say, this is your event, this is someone else's event. But today I could see the energy of Shivakumar, how he feels, the passion with which he spoke. That is not very usual. So all of you students today are extremely fortunate to see a side of Shivakumar that not many of us have seen. Thank you for being here. I will talk about, this event is about communication. In the technology industry, the last several years, we've been talking about how good, how brainy, how intelligent, how innovative people from India are, the educated people from India are, except that they are not able to communicate. It's a serious handicap, which is something that the Academy started working on several years back. In fact, right from the beginning, we said, let's try and analyze what is the problem. Why is it that people are not able to come out and talk, communicate? What is the fundamental issue here? It's that kind of a research, that kind of partnership with other industry partners that evolved into a set of programs in ICT Academy, which is dispersed to all the students through the education institution. And the second, which is more important for us, is to measure, are we having the right impact as far as conveying or enabling people to communicate effectively? How do we measure that? It cannot be measured by tests. We said one of the measures could be have a contest like this. Encourage thousands of students to participate in a program where they can compete with each other, and the best of the best can be showcased as examples for other people to follow. And the reason why it is important for us to showcase or build these icons is something that I'll talk about: leadership. Many of the future leaders that this country, the globe is going to see, will be people from among you. We have the greatest opportunity. Many of you will have the opportunity to lead important segments of the global economy in future. Are you prepared for it? How do you prepare for it? One fundamental thing about leadership or leaders, that no matter what their style, no matter what area they work in, they are fantastic communicators. Par excellence, that's the word for it. Whether it's the field of politics or spirituality or industry or academicians, think of any name, think of anybody. Think about spiritual leaders. This city produced one of the greatest spiritual leaders, Sadhguru. Have you listened to him? Inspirational, very passionate. He is a leader, is a spiritual leader. People follow him. because he is able to communicate, because he has ideas, he is able to communicate effectively. You think about innovators that came from this place, from Coimbatore, age-old days, G.D. Naidu. I don't know how many of you have read his old writing. The fantastic written communicator. His ideas are automatically translated into his writing. The great speaker too, great innovator, great leader, because he was able to communicate. In politics, people become leaders because they are effective communicators. We have all seen that. In the area of technology, business, industry, information technology industry, I don't think anyone would have missed listening to Narayan Murthy, an icon for the industry. In many ways created this industry. He'll keep you spellbound talking about any topic. They have that ability to communicate. They have that ability to be magnetic, that until they finish, you want to listen. So it's a communication and leadership goes hand in hand. That is point number one that I want to make. In order for you to be an effective leader, your style may be different. The language of communication may be different. You may be a fantastic communicator in Tamil or Hindi. Doesn't matter. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was the Prime Minister, who was known as one of the greatest communicators in political field, spoke in fantastic, chaste Hindi. That was very much appreciated. But what's behind this communication? How do I get that ability? Why is it that some people are able to communicate, others are not able to communicate? So there is a certain reason behind it. First and foremost, or probably the only reason, is you need to be able to get the confidence to communicate. That fearlessness, that confidence. Now, how does that confidence come? That confidence is born out of your expertise. You have something to communicate. You have something that is unique, that's of value to others. You need the confidence that what I'm going to speak is of value to others, so they'll listen. That expertise is required. You need character. Why should people listen to you? Yes, you have the expertise, but you have character. This is a value-based person, trustworthy person. He has interest in me. There is a purpose behind this communication, so I have to listen. So, character, that is extremely important besides expertise. And are these two sufficient? No, the third and the most important thing is, how do you communicate? So you have different groups. You communicate with a large audience like this. You may have to communicate with a smaller group. You may have to communicate with different profiles of people. There is no one way of communicating with all of them. Your content will have to change. Your style will have to change. Your presentation method will have to change. But there is a common theme that most people talk about, which is, they say, whenever you speak, brevity, levity, and repetition are the three keys. Brevity means try and be brief. Don't go on and on and on and on. Levity means it should be light also, not be a serious talk all the time. Doesn't mean that you have to intersperse it with jokes, but it has to be light. People understand it. It's not a very, very serious, thou shalt do it type of a talk. And then repetition. If there are some important points that you want to convey, you have to repeat. Brevity, levity, repetition. That's a style. But the first two things that I talked about that gives you confidence, first and foremost is the confidence coming out of character. Fearless. I've done no wrong. I'm extremely confident. Shivakumar mentioned ICT Academy. No bias, no favor to anybody. Absolutely clean and above board in all the things that they do. Ethically, morally, I'm strong. I'm strong on a firm footing. So I'm completely fearless. Nobody can do anything to me. Nobody can point a finger at me, because I know the strength of my character. The confidence comes first from that character, that value. The value system that all of you will have to practice. Honesty, integrity, truthfulness. That gives you the first confidence. If you have that, the fear will automatically go away. You'll become fearless, which is important, which is required as you go along, not only to communicate, but to do several other things. And the second thing is expertise. You need the expertise. You need something to talk about, right? What can you talk about? You cannot just pick up. There are people who can pick up any topic and talk about it. How do they have that capability? How do they develop that? It's the thought. You're not able to communicate. It means your mind has stopped working. You're not thinking. If you think, ideas will come rushing, thoughts will come rushing, what you have stored, what you have read will come rushing. That you will translate into voice, provide character to whatever you want to be. So there must be some level of expertise that is available. That's very, very important for you, particularly students, to learn as much as possible, to think, to challenge, to question the things that you learn, and then you develop a point of view. You say, hey, this is what I think I've learned. I want to convey it. I want to share it with a bunch of people. So if you have these type of abilities, expertise, thoughtfulness, constantly thinking about various aspects, then develop a style or a skill to communicate in your own fashion, your own unique style. You can copy someone else's style, but it's better that you develop your own style. Then it's possible to be successful. How can you be successful with these communication abilities? You can sell, you can be persuasive. You become a salesman. Half the task of a leader is selling their ideas, selling things that they passionately believe in. A leader, an industrial leader, will have to sell their products or services, their ideas. So it's about selling and networking. If you look at these two things, then you can imagine the type of communication that you need to practice. Most of the leaders, political leaders, are constantly selling their ideology, their way of doing things, what's good for the country. That's what they're trying to sell. Spiritual leaders are trying to sell. They're saying, for your happiness, for your mental peace, we would like you to practice these type of things because these things work. They're trying to sell a concept. That's exactly what most of the communication is about. That's something that comes out of practice, out of watching others, out of attending events like this. And the last point that I want to make is, events like this encourage you to make friends and network with them for the rest of your life, either continuously or occasionally. Many of the contacts, many of the areas in business that I have succeeded in are because of contacts I developed when I was in school and college. Many of the people that I went to school with or was in college with are in important positions in the industry, in government. So if I need to get somebody's help, I know I have a contact by virtue of my continued association or network. When you have that kind of a networking, it is mutual, it's give and take. You are helping someone, you get help from someone else. That's the whole purpose. And for that to happen, you have to maintain that contact. And for you to maintain that contact, you'll have to communicate. You'll have to keep sending mails, interact with them at least once in a way, etc. So communication is not just about speaking. It is written communication, oral communication, communication through third parties, etc., etc. And that's what this program is all about. And as long as you participate effectively, watch good examples, follow good leaders, develop character and expertise, you will be fantastic communicators and eventually be great leaders. I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
I think that was a wonderful start by touching upon honesty, integrity, and the kind of values that our youth should carry and they will carry.